My bad on the music volume, guys. Still high from the interview. Apologies. What is going on, my friends? You guys have a good weekend? Or having a good weekend, I should say. Alright. Let me know your opinion, guys. Leave the music on in the background or cut the music. Let me know in chat. Alright, let's say hey to everybody. Alright. What's up, Aaron? Great to see you, brother. Bull Runner, what's up, man? Hunter, good to see you. Let me take this toy away from my dog for oh. Hungry Queens, good to see you. Barb, good to see you. Julia, what's up? What's going on? I appreciate y'all being here. I know it's kind of last minute stream here. I had some extra time on Saturday. I figured I'd jump in with you guys. Take a look. We got our amazing trade set up yesterday. We've been waiting for this sweep play for pretty much the entire week since this low, or however long ago that was, the 15th. Been waiting for that sweep golden pocket play. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and remove everything from here so we can use the Bybit chart, alright? We're going to get rid of a whole lot of TA here for the stream. No, keep my spider lines. Okay, cool. Let me turn the music down a little bit for you guys. We'll leave it on in the background. Okay, so what happened? Well, Bitcoin swept all of the liquidity from this low, right? Everybody who was building longs in this range, right? Everybody who's building longs in here, their stops are below here. We get the push down, we get the sweep, right? Now, so far, it's behaving in line with what we would expect to see from a spring, right? A quick move below the range, reclaim. Obviously, it's going to depend on what happens next, but I do like this. Let's look at some volume. Yeah, lots of volume in the spring here. Let's put an anchored VWAP on that candle here. As long as we can hold above this anchored VWAP from the dump candle here, I would believe that this is a spring. If you notice on Cipher Matrix here, we came down, we reset the regression trend here. We bounced right from the low of the regression trend. If we zoom in a little bit on like our 1 hour, we're trying to, it's nice that we're flagging out here above the EMAs here. If we can get that, what we really want to see is this 50 EMA cross back above the 100 EMA here. Or sorry, 200 EMA. If we look at our 1 hour on our Hike and Ash sheet here, man, y'all are just crushing it with Cipher Matrix here. We got this low, we got this low. Those of you who are patient and waiting for your larger time frame signals, you guys are crushing it. These reversal zones, remember, if you're in an uptrend, your highest probability reversal is going to be in your oversold reversal zones here. Amazing, love it for you guys. Let's see, what's our 2 hour look like? So if you guys, so let's say you're not using Cipher Matrix. If you guys are, why did the CME gap? I can show you why in just a sec. But yeah, if you guys are just using the EMA strat, you would have went long underneath the 200 EMA, right? It crossed way back here, the end of June. We got one chance to buy under it here. It just gave you your second chance, right? Even more than that, if you look at your 3 hour, right? If you're using the EMA strat, look at that, perfect wick underneath the 3 hour. Let me mute these. Why are you not muted? There we go. Perfect little wick underneath the 3 hour 200. That's why we're getting a bounce from that level. Also, we were looking at, on our 4 hour, we were looking at bouncing from this golden pocket here. Right, we got a nice bounce right from that golden pocket level. And shout out to everybody in the Discord, because I know all of you guys took this long with me, which is awesome, guys. This is another thing that I was telling to the folks in the Discord here. So if you're looking at your 4 hour, before we were concerned about this possible 4 hour break of structure here. Right? Because if you're looking at it, you have a 4 hour bearish break of structure, followed by a golden pocket rejection, followed by attempting to make a new low. The Now, standard candle 4-hour structure is still bullish, and more importantly than that, if you have been following this channel for a little bit, you know that more important than a break of structure is actually proving that it's a real break, right? And how do we do that? Well, on this channel, we do that using range deviations. So, was this yesterday morning? I think it was, or Thursday. Yeah, for like Friday morning, we were looking at this in the Discord, and we noticed that this 4-hour candle that swept closed above the range deviation. The next one was like sitting right on it if we went over to standard candles, right? But again, you want to make that determination on the same candlesticks that you pulled from. So we're using 4-hour Heiken Ashes. So once this candle closed above it, right, then I told everyone to long 115.300, or I told them I was long from 115.300. We're at the bottom of the channel. We're underneath our 3-hour 200, underneath our 2-hour 200, and we're looking to get it bounced back up. And the reason that this trade is so good is because if you close a 4-hour candle below here, I think I just used a 1% stop for just to protect you against like a flash crash, right? And you're trying to take this back up to premium, right? It's a 5.45 to 1. It's amazing risk to reward. So I was screaming at everyone to take this trade to get in at 115.300. There's so many confluences, right? You have those EMAs, you have the golden pocket, range deviation. And we're all pretty much showing in this trade right now. Some people took profit on the way up, but we're getting across in our trend ribbon now. There's one more thing to keep in mind here. If we're looking at our gold pair, you just hide our drawings for right now. And here's what we can do. Oh, there we go. I think I did hide them. Oh, no. Okay. There we go. Okay. So if we're looking at our gold pair here, we're trying to break this high right now. So this is a level that you definitely want to watch. Because effectively, if we do break this level, right, we're getting on the 1 hour on the gold pair, we already got our golden cross here, right? So should the gold pair come back down under here, it's probably a good buy, right? But more important than that, what we've effectively done here is we have SFP the low, here, right? Now that means that this high here is under attack, right? So after we SFP the low, we're coming back up. Whoa. Are we still alive? Something just died. Yeah. We SFP the low, and now we're trying to break structure on the high. So, this is definitely a level to mark. 5. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, would you look at that? So we haven't cleared the range deviation level yet, but it's still important that we closed above this level. And we did that at 3 o'clock, so is that a 4-hour close? Oh, buddy, okay. All right. So if we're looking at our 4-hour here, this is bullish. This is very bullish, right? So we're still waiting on like the extra level of confirmation here, right? Which would be at like 35.72. Just so I can keep you guys updated. I'm gonna set alert here for myself. But we have broke structure on our gold pair. Now, why is that important? That's important because if we're looking at like our 3-hour, we were in a downtrend after we broke this low, and I was really concerned about this. I was telling you guys I was concerned about this. So let's make these red here. I was concerned because it looked like we were having distribution on the gold pair, right? So it looked like so if this rally had failed, right? That would not be good, That would not spell good for Bitcoin, right? So the fact that we're able to take this high here, generally in distribution, you would expect all of these rallies at the end here to fail, right? So the fact that we're actually able to make a new high is actually really, really bullish. It's really good. And I mean, we bounced right from our 3-hour 200 MA on here as well. And I really do like that the 1 hour has already recrossed bullish. That's great. That's really good. Because I don't think it's done that on the USD pair yet. Yeah, it hasn't done that on the USD pair yet. Okay. Okay. Hey, HRJ, what's up, man? Love to see you. Thanks for joining. What's up, Bull Runner? How you doing? Okay, so congrats to everyone in this trade. We're hitting our point of control right now. If we do get a retrace, I would expect to bounce at 116.8. It's the bottom of the range, right? 116.941. It's also mitigating this previous range here. It's also near this anchored VWAP. I would expect to bounce from this anchored VWAP. I mean, if we put one on the actual low, no, it doesn't make much of a difference. Yeah, I would expect one from there. Let's put our anchored VWAP from the high on here. Okay, so right now we're butting our head between the anchored VWAP from the high and the anchored VWAP from this dump, right? I would expect whichever level we're able to break and clear, like if we start rejecting under this as resistance, probably coming down lower. But my suspicion is we're probably going to flip this to support, come up for the liquidity in these highs. Remember, target is the premium of the range, like 121,680. That would pull the liquidity from all these highs. And then, you know, if we can find support above there, we could come up to 123. But my immediate target is here. Because that's liquidity. Okay. Man, exciting times. Exciting times. Put a 1 in the chat if you're in this long from down here. Yeah, you guys are amazing with the likes. It's always the same as the watchers. Hey, if you're in here on a Saturday, much love to you. That's awesome. That's awesome. Good shit, Hunter. Good shit, HRJ. Let's go. Let's go, Julia. Heck yeah, guys. Yeah, I was screaming at you guys in the Discord to take this long. We've been waiting for this setup for so long, and I'm proud you guys are in it, for real. It's awesome. And now we're just riding it up, huh? Yeah, I mean, we want to see the golden cross come over to the USD pair here as well. So let's talk about that low. Some of you guys might not be in the Discord here. So if you're not, it's pinned to the top of the chat. So make sure that you join. There's so much free alpha in there. I promise you guys. It's completely free. It doesn't cost you anything. Okay. So when we were at this low, the reason that I told people to long right here is, one, because of the range deviation level, right? That's this red line, right? Stay above that, we're still ranging to come back up to the premium. But also because of the Wyckoff accumulation schematic here. Let me actually find, it was pretty funny, let me actually find the drawing that I shared with everyone here in the Discord. Yeah, here it is. Okay, let's grab this. So this is what I shared with the folks in the Discord when we were at this low. I said, hey, this looks like a Wyckoff Model 1 accumulation or Model 2 accumulation. What you want to look for is you want to look for the jump across the creek, followed by a flag at the top of the range, followed by an SOS. And I said, if you're feeling trigger shy, wait for one of these confirmations, right? And then it went on to pretty much do the exact thing that we drew, the power of the doodles. My theory is because of all the magnets that we all put on our charts. Shout out to Kyle. If you're not subscribed to Kyle, subscribe to Kyle. Shout out for the magnet tool. And my suspicion is that's the reason we went up. No, just jokes, folks. It's because of the Wyckoff accumulation schematic. But yeah, one thing that you guys can do, right, if you're looking at the dump, right, so you know how we put this anchored VWAP on the 4-hour? So once we're flipping this dump VWAP to support, right, we got above it here, couldn't really back test it, lost it, and then went further back down again. Once you flip this to support, you're generally going to be bullish. Another thing you can do is put a anchored VWAP on the low, right? And then that's generally going to give you your first higher low, first of all. Wait. Your first higher low. And then once we durably flip that to support here, it was off to the races, right? So you can also use anchored VWAPs. One thing to keep in mind as well, so if we go to our 3-month here, so we started a new quarter at the start of July, right? So if we put an anchored VWAP on July, and then we go back to our 4-hour, let's make it white, make it bigger. If you notice, all we did was retest the quarterly VWAP as well. There were so many confluences at this level to get long. I know everybody was looking for, down here, 113, 112, which, I mean, should we have gone down there, it would have been a nice long as well. But you have to keep in mind risk to reward. The risk to reward here was amazing because, I mean, you start breaking below this level, you don't want to be long anymore. So, and that's why we got such a strong reaction. Yeah, Julia. I mean, yeah, it could be a front run of a leap. Generally, you would expect the leap to happen at the start of next month, but yeah. I mean, if we were to do like a quarterly leap, if we put, let's make this one blue. So if we were to start losing 115-ish, the quarterly leap would be back down to like 103.5. But we would have to lose this level first. And we retested it as nice support back at the end of last quarter. We kind of front ran. So it could be like we're front running this month's leap the same way that we front ran last quarter's leap as well. Hey, welcome to the stream, everyone. Good to see you guys flowing in here. No, it's kind of last minute. Yeah, monthly front run, Julia, for sure. Definitely could be that. So that's all the confluence that we had there. Looking at, let's see, let's go. Yeah, we also bounced from the 12-hour 50 EMA as well. Which is the same thing as like the 3-hour 200, right? But notice how on our 12-hour, we also SFP'd this local low. So that would, again, target the highs that I'm targeting, right? The liquidity up here. So that's another reason that you could be targeting a rotation to the highs because of the local SFP on the 12-hour. So if we're looking at some momentum here, we got the 12-hour starting to curve up. We got the 8-hour at the 0 line about to curve up. We have the 6-hour. We have a 6-hour bullish cross about to happen underneath the 0 line here. 4-hour. We have 4-hour bullish divergence. Right? We have 4-hour bullish divergence. So there's a lot of confluence here for a range deviation long. So if you guys have been following the channel for a while, you guys know that these range deviation plays are your highest risk to reward, right? Like back whenever we were in this range, we took both of these range deviations, right? And the idea of the trade is the same, right? It's you take the range deviation long and you long it up to premium, right? So that was a 7-to-1 risk to reward. I was kind of going over this in the Discord yesterday. And remember, the target of the range deviation is premium. So you need to take profit at least a little bit. If you want to leave a runner, that's fine, but you should be 50 to 75% out at premium. And then it gave you a second chance to take the long again back in this range. Right? And then that was another 3-to-1 basically. 3.2-to-1. And that one hit the target as well. So these are the best risk to rewards that you can find in the range. We took some back in this range as well. I believe that was on the 1 hour. This is the same trade that we just took in the Discord on Friday morning. Oh yeah, it's back here. We took the range deviations from here. On the 1 hour, this is a valid low. Just take my word for it, it is. And then, so we were looking at 1016. We were looking at closes above, and we were able to get long here to take it up to premium, and then we were able to get long here, take it up to premium again. And that's the exact same trade that we're looking for in the current range. It's the exact same trade, right? Close above this, come up to premium, or come up to premium. It's the exact same trade on the 4 hour, how you can ask you. Hey, Andrew Cameron, welcome in here, man. Ondo Poncho, good to see you. Wow, you guys are great at liking the stream. You guys are the best crew, for sure. Okay, so does anyone have any questions about why we got long here, or about anything that I've gone over? What's up, Cuban? Good to see you, buddy. Okay, cool. Let's look at a fractal here that I find interesting. So if you guys were here a couple days ago or earlier this week, we back tested what happens when you break range deviations, right? So we were looking at things like this one. Right? Where we broke the range deviation and then we just went straight up, right? We were looking at that. We were looking at this one. Where you broke the range deviation, you consolidated for a week and then you pretty much went straight up. We were looking at this one. Where you broke the range deviation, consolidated for a week and went up. We were looking at the one back here. Now, this fractal to me is very interesting, right? So not only did it happen over the summer, right? This was summer of 2023. But also, and just a quick shout out, right? The range deviation gave you the bottom of the cycle, right? How cool are these things? Yeah, so, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Yeah, so this is interesting to me because, and I mean, we could take it from the down range as well if we'd prefer to, just to make it look a little bit more similar to the fractal that we have now. So what happened here, we came up, we closed above the range deviation, and then we consolidated sideways for 3 weeks before we ran up another 10%, right? That looks interesting to me because that, to me, looks very similar to what we're doing right now. From all the range deviations that we backtested and looked at, that fractal looks very similar to what we're seeing right now. Now, if we look closer at it, you'll also notice that the second week in the fractal also swept the low of the first week. You see that? Now, this is dubious speculation, guys. So, this is just kind of walking you guys through the kind of things that I look at to develop my bias, right? To say, hey, This is what happened in the past. This is likely similar to what we're going to see this time, right? So the previous week, it swept the low of the previous week before coming back up and closing within the range. And if we look at the weekly fractal now, we'll notice, what did this week do? This week swept the low of the previous week and is coming back up to close green in the range. You guys see what I'm saying? It looks very similar to what we got back here in summer of 23. So if that were to play out, right, in a similar way, and we were to pump 10% out of that, that takes us to about 130, right? Now what happened after we pumped to 130? Then we got the mitigation of the range, right? So we squeezed out everybody who shorted, thinking that we have to go mitigate the range. And then we came down and mitigated the range. Now this is similar. If you look at what Bitcoin does when it breaks out of a range, this is very similar. Oftentimes, it won't mitigate at all. Like back in this range here. Right? It'll just go. Or back in this range here. Break out, you're just gone, and then you come back to mitigate way later, right? Back in this range here. Break out, you're just gone, right? So it's not very often that Bitcoin will come down and give you those nice Wyckoff high risk to reward trades right away, right? So then we have to ask ourselves, well, do we have any confluence for this 130K area? Well, if we're looking at our daily micro range that we just broke out of, we also have a spider line. So I would argue yes, based on it's the same spider line that was the top before, right? Back here. It makes sense. We break out, we go back and retest that area. But just looking at general ways that you find targets. Right, we have our 2 extension at 126, which is also the range deviation from this little range. We also have our 272 at that 130 mark. So yeah, we have a fib target there, right? And then if we look more locally, or I'm sorry, more macro, $131 is our 1618. Generally, the target you're going to hit when you break out of a range, right? It's kind of similar to your golden pocket, but it's an extension, right? So if we take a rectangle and connect those, that gives us confluence around this 129 to 131 area, which lines up with our back test of our weekly range deviation breakout, what we've done in the past, of pumping up about 10% out of that. The numbers are actually very eerily similar, right? So if it plays out similarly to that, we could be expecting something like this. Then we come down and mitigate before moving to like 150 or whatever to close out the cycle. Or, you know, we could keep going higher. Obviously, predicting anything out this far is, and the time period doesn't have to look like that, right? Like this can happen really quick, right? But again, predicting anything out this far is, you know, you just don't have enough data yet. But I would say, unless we start closing like significantly below here, or we like break trend that we just made on like the Bitcoin gold pair, for example, I would say the most likely thing is that we come up to this 130K. Okay. Now let's look at some other ways to look at momentum. So what would be your next Bitcoin trade? Well, so the community's long from here, right? If you're in the Discord, make sure you join the Discord, Max, because we were screaming about the 15,300 long. We were also, we've been looking at that on the stream for a while. It just lines up with like your 4-hour golden pocket, sweep of this low into your 4-hour golden pocket before moving back up. So we're long from here. If I wasn't long from there, my next trade would be the mitigation of that, which would be in the demand zone down here. So if I wasn't already long, I'd be looking for some sort of structure break inside of here, right? Right, that's what I'd be looking for. Something like that. Right? That would be my next trade if I wasn't in one. So you can use, like there's a lot of ways to jump on trends. So for example, you can use the EMAs here. So let's say we just crossed bullishly. So generally the best entry into this bullish trend is going to be when the price comes below this 200 again. Right? So should the price come below this 200 and you see, you know, maybe you're charting out this demand zone here, right? Or you see some sort of market structure flip in here, this would be a great way to get into this newly formed trend. It looks like we had a little micro distribution model at the highs here. Yeah, we had like a model 2 distribution here with a sweep with an up thrust after distribution. We're coming back down. Yeah, so it looks like you might get a little bit of a retracement here to get long. Yeah, you had a really nice UTAD at the end of it here. So I would expect this rally probably to, you know, have a couple failed rallies here and then give you that entry. Or maybe even come down here for the entry. So I would expect you to get an entry pretty soon on that. Looking at like the 12-hour on Market Cipher, for example, we have a nice 12-hour trigger wave here forming. Wait. Yeah, so we have a nice 12-hour trigger wave on the lows. You can see we tested our 12-hour 50 EMA, tested our, which is the same thing as our 3-hour 200, right? Came underneath the 3-hour 200, 2-hour 200. Higher high on money flow on the 2-hour. So there's a lot of hopes in terms of momentum, right? We have our positive EMA cross. Should we come underneath that, we'd be expecting a lot to long it back up. This looks like it's probably going to be a spring, in my opinion. This looks like a reaccumulation after decline, and it's probably going to be a spring. Let me see if I can get that schematic up for you guys. 1 second. Yeah, so no, that's not it. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Okay, this will work. This isn't like the best picture, but this will help me get the point across. So this is kind of your reaccumulation after decline. This would be your spring, right? So you're looking for the jump across the creek, and then you're looking for us to come sweep the liquidity in these highs up here. You're looking to flip 121 into support, right? And then go higher. That would be if it follows like a general Wyckoff schematic, that'd be what you're looking for. Yeah, I like it. So where's our 4-hour order block? All right, so you guys stopped by on a Saturday, so I owe you guys some real sauce here. So let me give you guys the real sauce, okay? So this is what, if you're not in a long, this is what I would do. So I would look at this area here. I would set a horizontal ray on the top of this. I would switch to a 5-minute time frame, and I would set an alert, and I would say Bitcoin to gold tapping 4-hour demands. And if Bitcoin behaves like it's been behaving with these 4-hour order blocks, this very well could be your low of the retrace. Very well could be your low. Man, the gold pair, this trade's so much better. Look at this, guys. So if you're looking at the gold pair, you got your range, initiation, mitigation, continuation. It just looks so much more beautiful on this versus we switch to our USD pair. The mitigation went like way down here to sweep all the liquidity in these lows, but yeah. It's just more beautiful. Right from this demand block here. Sol? Yeah, we can look at Sol. Let's see. Yeah, but I would set alert at 3488. That's what I would do. Set alert at 3488. Okay. And I'm going to be live for the weekly close tomorrow. So, shorting against the trend, it's... I mean, sure, if you want to take a pullback short, you can do it with tight risk, but I would just look to get in on the long. I would set an alert at 3488. Because you have to keep in mind, man, you just flipped the 4-hour structure, right? So we got, like, even if, like, looking at the 4-hour, we got our SFP. We got our SFP and our breakup structure on the 4-hour. So that's really bullish. So, and like we bounced right from where we would expect to bounce, 3-hour 200 EMA, SFP in the low. So you could take a short back down to that 4-hour order block. But I would feel a lot better about that if you lost this low. Because very well what could happen here is we could just come down locally to, I'll say this, if you do take a short, I would pay yourself at 35.24, right? So you set an alert here. Wait, don't, remember if you're setting alerts, set them on the 5-minute. It charts better. And like, look at your EMAs on the 5-minute, bro. Like, we haven't even tested underneath the 200. So if we come underneath the 200, I would expect a bounce. So, you know, the time to short is like when you get your bearish cross and then you come above it and you short it back down to the lower low, right? Or when you come up to like the previous order block here, right? If you set an alert here, the time to short is here because you're playing with like a 10-to-1 RR, right? Versus the difference is here you didn't break structure, whereas now we've switched structure on the 4-hour. So shorts would be pretty dangerous in this environment. Cool. Did I set my alert here? Let's see. Okay. All right, cool beans. So we're bouncing from previous demand block here. Yeah. Yeah, I think Darren's mentioning we're rejecting from a little bit of 1 hour supply here. It's true. But overall, yeah, Darren, if you go back to the beginning of the stream, like the first 10 minutes, I did Bitcoin, and that's kind of what I'm feeling right now. Also, hop into the Discord, man. It's pinned to the chat. Miss you, bro. It's good to see you. Okay. All right. So we're at the point now. If you guys have any questions about anything we've gone over, go ahead and post in chat. Otherwise, you guys start dropping some altcoins. It's Saturday. I'll look at some poop coins for you guys. So if you guys have anything you want to look at, I know someone said Sol, so we'll take a look at Sol. All right. Let's take a look at Sol here. Let's look at our 1 hour. So 1 hour is fighting to save the uptrend right now, fighting to save the bullish cross. Man, 2 hour perfect 200 EMA bounce off the 2 hour. So if you're in a long right now on Sol, you'd want to see this 186.70 level turn into support. If 186.70 turns into support, you're looking at 203 again. Sol loves support and resistance. It's a really good support resistance coin. Okay. Let me go a little more micro here for you guys. So you'll get a structure flip up here at the highs. That would be at 191.76. Which is the supply that you rejected off of, right? So we're getting a little bit of a bearish reaction off that. Similarly to Bitcoin, if we come back down, I would expect a bounce in this area. You have this little 1 hour order block here as well. So if you get like a 5-minute break of structure somewhere in this area, that would be a good place to look for a long. Like 182-ish. That's where I would set an alert to take a look at Sol. So you did break your downtrending momentum. You broke your downtrending momentum here on Sol. Yeah, I mean, if it starts to flip 186.70, I don't think you're going to have much trouble getting through this on your second tap, which brings you up to probably this 1 hour supply would be the next place you hit your head. Would be around like 195-ish. I think you flip 186 to support, you don't have any trouble getting back up here because you have liquidity along the way, right? You have liquidity in this high, liquidity in this high, liquidity in this high. And those 3 hits of liquidity would give you a nice jump up to your 196 level. That's what I see on Sol. So for you guys in the Discord that are long from Sol down here, you're sitting just fine. I don't really see any reason to close that right now. Okay. Let's look at some indications here. Our 15-minute. Yeah, so on the 15, you just had your 200 retest, right? So you flip your 200 here. And then you just went below it for the first time here. Should you flip the 50 here? And look at where the 50 is, right? Like you want confluence. The 50 is sitting right at that 186.70. So yeah, if you flip this, I think you're going 196. $183.10. Yeah, Cameron. I mean, generally you would expect this first test of the 200 to give you a reaction, but it is, if it was Bitcoin, it'd be something different. But Yeah, I mean, so if we lose this low and don't SFP it, like if we start closing below this low, then I think you look to this order block area here. But if we hold that low, flip 186, you're looking at 195. It would be a pretty quick move too. There's not really anything in our way. Right, this is all liquidity to be swept. You sweep that, get a bullish reaction up to 195. There you go, yeah. 182 is the value area low too. So yeah, I would set an alert at 182. If you lose this low, you'd be looking to get in around there. Gala? Yeah, we can look at Gala. Yeah, so similarly to what happened with Gala here, right? You flip the 200, you backtest the 200, and you go. All right, I don't think I've charted this coin in a minute, so let's see what our weekly looks like. Man, this thing was at like bear market lows like 4 weeks ago. Hold on, my dog. Okay, let's look at the daily. Oh my gosh, hold on. Okay. So what do we know, guys? Right? This is, all right, learning time, right? All right, let's get Cipher Matrix out of here for now. What do we know, right? Bearish cross of the EMAs. You short above the 200. Now, what we would need to see if you're bullish on Gala long term, this 50 EMA needs to act as support to cause a pinch between the 200 and the 50 to ultimately break out and pull that 50 EMA up, causing a bullish cross. Should you see that, right? Now this is for like macro if you're a holder. Should you see that, you would expect the exact same thing that happened with the death cross, right? So similarly to what happened here, right? Get the bullish cross, you can expect a nice long underneath the 200. It only went back up to the 50 here. Now, it looks like this was when liquidity was thrown. It's so hard to teach you guys this stuff on altcoins. Like, you'll still get the reaction. I mean, this is probably a really nice move. Yeah, I mean, it's still a 30% move. So, you guys get the point. But you would expect that after the bullish cross, that you buy underneath the 200, and you can at least take it up to the 50. But you can fix that by using a shorter time frame. So, if we look at the 4 hour, for example. Oh, you just had it. You just had it. So, right, here's the bearish one. Bearish cross, short above, right? Here's the bullish one. Bullish cross, long underneath. So you just had that at 0.1677. You're getting your 50 EMA test now, so had you gotten in down there, you'd be looking to take your first profit around 1818. The only thing I don't like about this coin is that it's so close to bear market lows. And it's still in a downtrend. It's still in a downtrend on the weekly. Did it close below here? So you SFP'd the weekly twice, which is nice, of course, but let's see. I mean, it's just got so much work to do. I mean, yeah, I mean, I would be looking to take profit around like 0.5. It comes up here. It hasn't retested the lows at 0.15. It's just this coin's only ever gone down, and it's being crunched against its bear market support. I mean, if we come, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. If we come test the support again, I mean, shit. You get price discovery to the downside. I think there's better trades out there than Gala, if I'm being honest with you. Short term, of course, you can make some money on it. I would just make sure I would just play the EMAs on this coin if you're going to trade it. So what you're looking for on the daily is similar to what you got here, right? Rejection from the 200, flip the 50 to support, pinch between, break above. It would look like this, right? Break above, flag out, go. It would be like a fractal of this, but on the daily. Alternatively, you could set an alert for the break of this. Oh, it's okay. So it's kind of trying to break out right now. Let's see. Cipher matrix shows here. It's the bottom of the channel. Premium's up here. Yeah, 1890, man. I would see take some profit at 1890. Yeah, I mean, Cipher Matrix gave you a nice long on the 4 hour. Yeah, I think the long was down here at the 4 hour 200 EMA. Okay. Okay, so Cuban, thanks for that, Cuban. So it looks like Gala has the worst tokenomics in all of the cryptoverse. So, which I mean, if I was just looking at this chart and I had to guess what the tokenomics of Gala are, I would guess they're probably trash, considering it's only ever gone down. Yeah. Okay. What was after Gala here? Matic? Oh, H-bar. H-bar, yeah. Hey, what's up, Hunter? Good to see you, buddy. I know you're in this long, Hunter. Good job, bro. Good job. Yeah. Yeah, I got you, Hunter. Okay. Oh, looks like we did TA on this one recently. We were looking for it to come to 28 cents. Looks like it did come to 28 cents. So we came down to retest demand here on the daily. Nice reaction off demand. Kyle was talking about H-bar being a really good hold long term, which I mean, this bullish reaction off demand, it looks like we are at a value area high here. Let's see. Okay, so remember what we talk about with these reversal bands, right? As long as the price is inside of this reversal band, it can continue to go up. It's about to break the deviation level of the channel here. We got a nice bullish. Remember also, if you have a nice thick bullish trend ribbon, you buy underneath it, right? Hopefully, as I continue to repeat this stuff over and over to you guys are starting to get this. But if we're zooming in a little bit, let's look at our 4 hour. So this is what I mean when I say there's better plays than Gala, right? So if you notice, you want to buy into strength, right? Because you never know if Gala's going to come back or not. H-bar has already given you the clue, right? You had a bullish cross on the daily. So you can just look back, right? What happened the last time there was a bullish cross on the daily? Last time there was a bullish cross on the daily, the price went up. All right? What happened the time before that? There's a bullish cross on the daily, price went up. And this is how it's supposed to behave, right? So you get a bullish cross on the daily, you come back down to test it, and then you go up again, right? But yeah, so if I was looking at this chart next to a Gala chart, obviously I would rather hold this coin, right? Because it actually goes up. Man, look at these daily buys. Cipher Matrix is tearing this coin apart, dude. Nice. Nice. Okay. Let's zoom in a little bit. So you had a 4-hour buy on Gala here. Since then, you've been going up. Let's see. So you just swept the liquidity in this highs. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't sweep the liquidity at 0.3 either. It's a nice psychological number that we front ran here as well. So there's going to be a lot of liquidation liquidity there. Let's look at, obviously it's a little overheated now. If you're looking for a pullback, I'd look to this order block here. These are the two areas I'd look to for a pullback. So I'd look to the demand level here. This is like, should Bitcoin mitigate, right? And then I'd also look to this order block level here. So the two levels that I would set alerts on Gala is going to be, or I'm sorry, on, that's, okay, there's way too much TA on this chart. Hold on. Let's see what I'm doing. 26444, and then I'd also look to 25 cents, basically. But yeah, this coin looks really good, man. I'm pretty sure you asked for, oh, that was you, Hunter. Yeah, Hunter, I like it. Looks good. Are you already long on this? Yeah, Hunter. I mean, with the golden cross on the daily, this thing might be ready, man. This thing might be ready. But yeah, it's so close to the highs too. Getting a nice momentum candle. Look at that volume. It's got nice volume too. Like, people are participating in this coin. Yeah, as long as it holds these lows at 23 cents, it's probably going to rotate back to these highs. Your first target would be the liquidity here. Second target would be here. And then your third target would be here. If you're looking for a place to take some profit, these would be the places that I would do it. Looks good. Okay. CRV. What's up, Rob side? Good to see you, man. Yeah, we can look at CRV here. All right, so CRV hit our 886 target, or 866 target. Nice. Nice. We got a bearish reaction off it, came back down. Man, I need to be putting daily buy alerts on these altcoins, dude. Jesus. It's quite the move off that. So we got our bullish cross on the daily here. Yeah, so again, compare this chart and H-bar's chart to Gala, right? That's pretty much all you need to know, dude. Let's look at the 12-hour. Got a nice low here. 4-hour. So our 4-hour, we had our I am wrong line last time we did TA on this, right? And we were saying if this line breaks, then you can look for a pullback. It looks like it's holding momentum for now. It's just a slow grind up. It looks like it's breaking structure on the 4-hour. Breaking structure here, which is nice. See if we have, yeah, so we have all of these. So this was a Model 2 distribution here, right? So there's still liquidity above this high and this high, and then all of these lower lows here, or lower highs, I mean, sorry. So all of these lower highs are liquidity. All right, so there's liquidity in all these lower highs. So your targets on the way up, you're looking at All right, I'm not going to do liquidity. Just know this is liquidity. Your targets here on the way up are these four. And notice, yeah, so notice how you took the first little set of liquidity there, pulled back, coming back up. You'll probably get a slight pullback off of 112. And then this move here will probably be fast. This move will be fast. And again, your invalidation is the break of this trend line. If that trend line breaks, where would you be looking to get back in? Probably this previous high zone here. Because like, this is inefficient price action right here. This is really inefficient. Then again, they may hold. Bulls will try to defend here. So the two levels that I would set alerts is, what is that? About 80 cents, because all the people whose stop losses are in this kind of melt up here are going to defend it here. So you're looking at 80 cents, and then you're also looking at 66 cents. But with how bullish this coin looks and what I think is going to happen on Bitcoin, you're probably just going to get a quick move up to 130. Whoever asked for this. Yo, Rob, are you already long on this? Are you looking for an entry or are you already long? I can help you a little bit better. Yo, B team, what's up, man? Good to see you. Oh, you're spot from way lower? Yeah, bro. I mean, I think I see a quick move to 130. I would take a little bit off at 134 if you're looking to re-add, because you're probably going to get something like this. It's putting in a nice, this is like a decision block here. So I would expect it to do something like this. Sweep 130, come back down, test the decision block for going higher. So if you're looking to take some out and re-add, I would take out here to get back in here. That's what I see. Cool, man. Hey, if you joined in late, because I know it was kind of like a random stream, they kind of jumped on at a random time. All of the sauce that you guys need for Bitcoin is in the first 15 minutes, so go back and watch that after the stream. I'd like to pack that in 15 minutes there. Go over everything I expect for Bitcoin. Congratulations to everyone holding the long. We nailed the 115 long. If you're not in the Discord's pinned to the top of the chat. Join the Discord, come chill with us, say what's up. You can ask everyone here. I was screaming at you guys to jump into that long on Friday morning. So I am active in there. It's where you can get analysis from me. We were also talking about this 115 level for a long time with this sweep here. The range deviation, right, on the 4 hour. Range deviation. Right. 4 hour closes above 115.3. Highest risk to reward, targeting the premium of the range, 120.17. Yeah, we can let's look at ETH before we go. Let's do that. Okay. Oh, yeah. So more repetitive lesson time for you guys, all right? I got to do it for you. I got to do it for you because it's best for you in the long run, all right? And I care about you guys. So, again, where did ETH bounce from, right? Hold on one second. Yeah, so the patient trader is the profitable trader. He sets the trap, right? Oh, here's all the arrows from me going over this like 100 times before. So you get your bullish EMA cross, your 15, your 200, right? You buy underneath the 200. You get a long cool off here on ETH, right? Where does it bounce from? Underneath the 200 EMA. TP1, 50 EMA, you're chilling. You're holding that trade, you're chilling. Entry into the higher part of the trend. So all of the liquidity, my dog, I really do apologize, guys. Okay, sorry guys. Yeah. Where do you get in when something, because ETH right now is absorbing the altcoin and Bitcoin liquidity. Where do you get back in on ETH? You get back in ETH under the 200 EMA. right? It worked on the smaller time frames on the way up, right? Underneath the 200, underneath the 200, underneath the 200, underneath the 200, right? Now you would have gotten out here and then gotten back in, crosses here. You got to get back in there or there, right? We went over this in previous streams. Check it out. 30-minute. Where do you get back in? Underneath the 200, right? Invalidation if the 50 crosses back below, right? Crosses underneath 200. Do not FOMO. You do not need to, right? You can wait. You can wait. A lot of people FOMO'd here. Patient people got in here. Okay. Now I can answer Aaron's question. Okay. 3,700 range is a decision block for ETH. Let's look. So if we're looking at ETH as a range here, yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying, man. I would agree. This looks like reaccumulation. If it was going to be distribution, we would expect a rejection from here. If this was going to turn into like a Model 2 distribution, but it looks like it already had that. So let me explain to you guys why I don't think this is distribution. The reason I don't think this is distribution is because the reason I think this is reaccumulation, and I think this will really help you guys, right? So you already had your Model 2 distribution here, right? Then what did you have after that? You had a long markdown phase, right? Drop level 1, drop level 2, drop level 3, right? And what followed that? Well, you got a accumulation phase. Right? Retested the order block of the previous low. It's a Model 2 accumulation. So you already had your distribution into accumulation underneath the 1 hour 200. And now you're bouncing back up and you're flagging out at the top of your range. So should we go higher? You're looking for that. Now, during this flag, you can get a test, move down and reclaim, and then go. But generally, you're just looking to reclaim the top of the range and go. Should you get a test, yeah, I like the middle of the range here, like a middle of a range test. Now, if you don't get a test, what Aaron is saying is, should we like push up to 4K, for example, right? Off this, should we sign up strength up there? If we were to come back down to mitigate this range, this would be the area where we would look to bounce from, because this would be your decision block before going higher, right? Because this little flag that we're building here is going to act as strong support. That's why when you look at Bitcoin, when it put in its little flag at range here, right? Should we come back to mitigate, we would expect a strong bounce from that decision block area. And that's the same reason that when you look at the ranges on the weekly as we were before. What were we looking at here? Okay. When we look at these ranges on the weekly, right? Bitcoin accumulates, breaks out of the range. Where do we get support on? The decision block. Right? For example, on the gold pair, right? We get these ranges. Right? We get range, initiation. Where do we mitigate? The decision block. Continuation. Right? That's just Wyckoff, guys. Just Wyckoff. Okay. Okay, any questions on anything we've gone over today? Okay. Before we leave, I will just give you guys, if you guys are feeling FOMO on ETH, let's look at where we could look to enter. Because I'm sure people are feeling FOMO. So the 5-minute 200, so let's say that this week ends up being bullish. The 5-minute 200 is amazing on ETH, which we haven't come under yet to test. But if we just go back and look when ETH pumps, right? So you get these bullish crosses, and then underneath the 5-minute 200, so we've been ranging for a little bit, right? But back when it was pumping, like let's say this week is bullish, ETH is going to move more than Bitcoin, and all you have to do is wait for the bullish cross and buy underneath the 200. Buy underneath the 200. Your invalidation is the 50 crosses back below, right? So if you bought underneath here, once this 50 cross underneath, you're out, right? But that's all you have to do. Like if we look at all these pumps on ETH, like it's not rocket science, guys. If ETH is pumping, when ETH goes, it goes. 5-minute crosses 200, right? Buy underneath the 200. Buy underneath the 200. Dude, you could pass a funded account, bro. Just buy underneath the 200, let it fly, right? Buy underneath the 200, let it fly. When things are pumping, like any coin, like let's look, what's pumping right now? Sui. Let's look at Sui. I will repeat myself on this as long as it takes for you guys to make money. I do not care. Okay, so when did it pump? I don't care about the range. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so when Sui was pumping, right? Wait for the bullish cross, buy underneath the 200. Buy underneath 200. You're in for leg up. Buy underneath the 200. Buy underneath 200. Take profit 1 at the 50. Comes back down. Did it ever cross? No, it didn't. Look, you could scalp this all day long. Never invalidated. You guys see what I'm saying? Don't FOMO at the highs. Do not FOMO at the highs. Do not FOMO at the highs. Just buy underneath this red line, guys. And if the blue line crosses underneath, then you're out, right? Look at how many times you won this trade before you lost. Let's just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm not going to count these because your take profit would be here, so only count it as 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You would have gotten faked out here. So that's 7 wins, 1 loss. Eight wins, 1 loss here. And obviously, then it starts ranging, right? It's your job to identify if it's trending or ranging. But you guys have seen me do this all the time for you guys. And obviously, the more you zoom out, right, the less opportunities you get, but the stronger they are, right? You get your bullish cross, buy underneath. That's 1 win. But it's a massive win, right? Then you get this one. It's another win, but it's a massive win. And then you get a small loss. Anyway, you guys have seen me go over this stuff. Just DM me on Discord, Darren. We can look into it. Definitely, I mean, it'd be great to have for people for the larger time frames, right? If you're a swing trader, it's so easy, guys. Wait for the cross. Look at this. It's so freaking easy. It's so easy. You guys see what I'm saying here? And what's the good part about this? When this 50 EMA is like here, your invalidation, like let's say you put a stop loss here to protect yourself from a flash crash, right? Your invalidation is so close to price. It's so close to price. So if you're buying underneath the 200 here, let's say you set a stop loss here just to protect yourself from a flash crash, right? And your real invalidation is if this 50 crosses underneath. that trade turns into like a 10 to 1. Now, if you're getting out when the 50 closes back below the 200, then you're getting out, let's say 359. That's an 11 to 1 trade, right? Let's say you're a genius, you call the top, or you just held it and you're still in it now. It's a 20 to 1 trade, right? It's not rocket science, guys. Okay. 2 hour. Right? 2 hour, same thing. Crosses bullishly, buying underneath. And it just gave you another re-entry here, right? How much are you up on that one? All right, another 4 to 1. Okay, guys. All right, well, I really appreciate you guys chilling with me on a Saturday. This was fun. Make sure you like the stream. If you're new here, subscribe, ring the bell. Go ahead and join my free learning Discord that's pinned to the top of the chat. Check out my one-on-one that I did yesterday, or on Thursday, I mean. Check out the EMA strat on my channel, and check out the range deviation video as well. Most importantly, though, if you missed the beginning of the stream, and I know that's most of you because there's only like 10 of us showing here, go back and watch the first 15 minutes. It's important, and I'll be here for the weekly close with you guys tomorrow. As always, much love, guys. Trade safe. Wave Cipher out.